This is the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. Wouldn't you know it, you find me in a kitchen somewhere. A brand new kitchen with the Ohio Beef Council, and got Stan Smith with us. He's treasurer of the Ohio Beef Council. Aaron Stickle is the chairman of the Beef Council, and we'll talk more about this kitchen. This is fancy. I mean, I'm afraid to show my wife this podcast. She might get some ideas, but there's a lot of things to talk about why you put a kitchen in the Ohio Beef Council headquarters here in Delaware County that we'll get to in a bit. But first of all, I want to talk about you and your farms and the state of the beef industry for those that aren't involved. And Aaron, we'll start with you. Tell me about your farm there in Wood County and some of the things you're doing up north.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here at the Culinary Studio, our renovated kitchen project on behalf of the Ohio Beef Council and the Ohio Cattlemen's Association. My husband and I farm in Northwest Ohio in Wood County, where we raise, I lovingly say, cattle and kids, and sheep and row crops and processing tomatoes. So a little bit of everything on our diversified operation. But I've served now on the Beef Council for 7 years, the last 3 years as chairman, and happy to continue to work on behalf of Ohio cattle producers.
Depending on the day, sometimes the kids are unruly, sometimes the cattle are unruly on the farm for sure. Stan, you and I have known each other for a while, but for those who don't know you, tell us about your farm there in Canal Winchester.
All right, Ty. We're lived in Canal Winchester going back actually a couple hundred years. My family has, and we've got a brood cow herd there, raised some row crops, corn and soybeans, and that. And grandkids came along, and brood cow herd kind of grew a little bit out of 4-H projects that got out of hand. So predominantly Simmental, Sem-Angus, and that sort of thing, and enjoying the beef cattle and trying to do a good job with them for not only our family but for the consumer.
Every aspect of agriculture has a challenge all the time. Right now we're talking a lot about the weather. I'm sure you're working in mud every single day. But as you look at the beef industry overall, for those that don't know or aren't involved, what's the state of the industry right now and what are some of the challenges you're facing?
Well, the state of the industry is really strong, especially for those of us here in Ohio. Our colleagues out west, of course, have had drought problems in recent years and had to reduce herd numbers. In Ohio, we have an abundance of feed, so we've not had to reduce numbers. We've got cattle to sell. And the neat thing is that despite inflation, if you will, or the price increases we've seen since the pandemic, and since numbers have been reduced and supplies have not been readily available, consumer continues to buy. And the remarkable thing to me is that they want quality. They're willing to pay for quality. If it's good, they're going to buy it. So the challenge for us as producers is to keep up with the quality that the consumer's demanding right now, and the spread between choice and select, and even on up to prime is incredible right now. So as producers, we've got to ramp it up a little bit and make sure we've got enough of that higher quality supply available for them.
So Aaron, as we look at that challenge of needing more cattle, have you grown your operation? Have you seen your neighbors do the same? Are we seeing beef numbers come up in Ohio?
Yeah, we're seeing beef numbers increase in Ohio, kind of across the gamut, both brood cows and cattle on feed. And for our particular operation, we've just have around 50 cows. So for our neck of the woods, that's a reasonable size operation for, as you can appreciate, in the Great Black Swamp lands of Wood County. So we also have a feedlot, and a lot of our neighbors that feed in the kind of the co-op that we work with have kind of remained steady, and that's been, I think, the biggest indication of the environment today is that cattle on feed numbers continue to stay strong in Ohio. And from a demand standpoint, and Stan's point about quality is spot on. We continue to see freezer beef demand, and those consumers who prefer to buy direct from the farm as one of segment of the industry that's very strong in Ohio. And so we continue to work through efforts here at the Ohio Beef Council on educating producers on maintaining that quality, especially those who may not be the large commercial grower, and they're going direct to farm or direct to consumer business, so that they can understand proper nutrition more and be more educated on that retail side of the market from a cutting instructions and helping to inform their consumer on a quality product. So we're seeing a lot of that kind of shifting from a direct consumer demand here in Ohio, while we also certainly continue to engage and find the benefit for our producers on the commercial side of the industry.
The Ohio Beef Council has a beef checkoff here in Ohio. That checkoff goes to spruce up demand and get more and more people getting beef off of the meat case when they go to the grocery store. And Stan, as treasurer, it's all about that return on investment. That checkoff and what you do with it is so vital to the industry across the state.
It is, and each time the Beef Council has a meeting, we talk about being sure that we're giving the folks that are funding the checkoff the bang for their buck that they deserve. And it's been a bit of a challenge in recent years. We had some projects that had to shut down during the pandemic, and so we were feeling like maybe we weren't getting everything done we needed to do, and actually we bankrolled those dollars that we weren't able to spend because so many activities that we get involved in were canceled or postponed. So it made the enhancements to this facility a little bit easier. You know probably better than I how important social media influence is, and we've got a very talented staff that has the ability to utilize that. We frequently get interns here that also understand what their cohorts and colleagues are interested in, and so it was kind of an easy move for us to transition into something where we can do more of that social media impact, if you will.
And that reach is meant for Ohio for the most part, but it actually went national, if not international, recently. Cade Stover, the former Ohio State Buckeye, is one of the influencers Stan's talking about. They had him featured in Sports Illustrated with the Ohio Beef Council. That's pretty exciting stuff. And we talk about influencers, we talk about different ways to reach out to the consumer. And Aaron, that's what this kitchen, this Culinary Studio is all about. Brand new, just unveiled here at the Ohio Beef Council in Delaware County. Tell me about this project, how it came to be, and why it came to be.
So we're very excited to unveil what we're referring to as the Culinary Studio here in our building, and the opportunity for this, as Stan kind of mentioned, really stemmed from the opportunity with dollars that are being invested from Ohio cattle producers through the checkoff, and our opportunity to continue to work through innovation, recipe development, engagement with chefs and bloggers, and the dietetics industry, and being able to do a lot of that in-house. We've invested heavily in staff that are very skilled and have a lot of background in this type of marketing, and not only engaging on the producer side, but more importantly, those that are buying our product. And we think it's really important. The research shows that people aren't gonna buy a product if they don't know how to prepare it. And especially a beef, where a lot of folks are comfortable with ground beef and some of those like lower price retail cuts, but to go to the meat case and say, well, what am I supposed to do with a chuck roast? What am I supposed to do with a ribeye or a ribeye roll, and how do I prepare that? I think you're proficient at smoking meats and those types of things, yeah. And we're excited. We're gonna do some of those other things as well. But being able to host those influencers here on our campus, bring them in and engage them with cattle producers, can make that connection. We just recently hosted our first event here with our blogger partners. And so we were able to bring them in. They visited a couple farms nearby, engaged with those producers and those cattle on foot so that they can relate that back to the product on the plate. And so the investment here in the kitchen was a great opportunity for us to be able to bring people here. And we actually are really excited. We have a chef influencer by the name of Wayne Lewis coming in 2 weeks. He's a Columbus chef, home chef, who competed on Master Chef in season 13. And he's the owner of 614 Media Group. So he has a very wide following. We've worked really hard at engaging in some of the other more city demographics and geographical ranges in Ohio. So we've got some opportunities with some folks out of Cleveland and Cincinnati. And then our dietitian on staff, we are very lucky to have her. She is hosting a couple dietetic podcasts and engaging with that group. And we're gonna be able to do that all in-house. And rather than going out and renting facilities to do these types of engagements and being able to have that access for producers or for consumers. To link that back to the producer network is really, really critical.
I'm really geeking out because I spend more time in the kitchen than I do the supper table. And so seeing all the counter space and all the new technology, we have the stovetop here, convection, we've got convection oven behind us, all these new things that these bloggers and influencers are going to be able to utilize when they come to the Ohio Beef Council and talk with not just our producers across the state, but also consumers as well. You guys spend time in the kitchen? Are you the chef of the house? Don't tell me Connie does it all.
No, not so much. Actually, we've got a meat science student that does a lot of that, and a couple of his brothers have gotten pretty good at using the grill, smoking meats, and those sorts of things. So I used to work the grill, but pretty much now I work the supper table.
I'm sure you do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I want to know though, what is your beef entree of choice? What do you, if your family and your son says, I'm making this, Dad, what can't you wait to get home to eat?
If it's meat, it's good, and if it's beef, it's the best. I'm comfortable with a great cheeseburger. I'm very comfortable with brisket. I'm very comfortable with a ribeye steak. I've never found a piece of beef that I didn't like, Ty.
I'm coming over for supper sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Aaron, how about you? Do you do a lot of work in the kitchen, or do you leave that to the hubby?
Nope, we do divide and conquer in our household because of the nature of running around with kids and coaching and all that kind of stuff, and day jobs. Imagine that, fitting that into everything. But no, I do a lot of the preparation, and our family, we eat a lot of tacos, so we eat a lot of ground beef in our family. Easy to prepare meals, and that is one thing that we focus on is that millennial mom. How do they take care of their family and what products to buy? And I fall right into that category, whether I like to admit it or not. But I do prepare quite a few meals, and one of our good family friends and also a meat shop in Bowling Green, their tagline is "Meat makes the meal." And we believe in that wholeheartedly at the Stickle household, and we love that. I love to be able to give back and continue to influence the opportunities we bring to consumers in Ohio. So meat makes the meal, and I think that's a tagline that any of us in the industry believe in.
Yeah, I think that's my family's motto as well. We have protein and 3 starches, and that's pretty much on our plate every single time.
Yep.
Hey, thank you both so much. I think that if the Food Network saw this, they would be envious right now. This is quite a facility. I know there's a lot of things that you plan on doing and a lot of great work being done on the Ohio Beef Council's part right here in this kitchen to show consumers how to make that beef and make it as tasty as possible so they go back to the store the next time and get that same cut or even more and bring it back home. Aaron Stickle is the chairman of the Ohio Beef Council. Stan Smith is the treasurer. Appreciate you guys being here and taking time and showing me the kitchen. And now we're gonna make what? Fajitas? What do you got for me today?
I haven't been privy to the menu, Ty. We'll find something.
You know what? I'll look in the
Be
fridge.
good. Yeah, we've got something planned. So
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you, Ty.
Thanks.
Who feeds your need for new ideas for your family's best farm future? Ohio Farm Bureau. We work with our members to shape ag policy that will positively impact our industry. Farm Bureau is advancing business solutions to give you a competitive advantage. We help you gather information to stay ahead of important topics and technologies. Plus, Ohio Farm Bureau creates opportunities for growth. Ohio Farm Bureau, feeding your need for new ideas.
Find out how Nationwide Agribusiness can help you grow your business. Get to know the people with the experience and knowledge to help you. Whether you are looking to protect your farm or ranch from the ground up, or need someone who understands your changing commercial ag needs. Find out how to better manage the risks of your ag business, or how quickly you can get back to business. Learn how you can protect your next with Nationwide on your side.
Welcome back to the Ohio Farm Bureau podcast. I'm Ty Higgins. Farm Credit Mid-America and Rural First excited to announce the return of the Fight the Hunger, Stock the Trailer contest designed to help junior fairs raise food donations for their local food banks through a competition between county fairs all across the Buckeye State. Joining us again on the podcast this week, Rudy Pitzer-Perry, Regional Vice President of Ag Lending with Farm Credit Mid-America. Rudy, welcome back.
Welcome, Ty. Thank you for having me.
I know this is still very young as far as the contest goes, but the growth has been so exponential. We'll talk about that in a bit. But first, for those who don't know, what is the Fight the Hunger, Stock the Trailer contest?
So the Fight the Hunger, Stock the Trailer is a contest that we launched in 2021 when our team members came together and they wanted to find a way to inspire and engage and empower local youth leaders. Farm Credit really loves to anytime we can invest in the next generation of our ag leaders. So this gives an opportunity for participating county fairs to collect food and non-perishable items and donate them throughout the duration of the fair. And prizes are then awarded based on the total pounds donated. All prize money is awarded for the use of the junior fair for however they want to dictate it, but for their activities.
Now let's talk about those prizes. I mean, they're not just a few $100s here and there. These are major prizes that these county fairs are vying for.
They are. So we host these on a regional basis. So there are 5 regions across the state of Ohio. Every single county fair that participates receives $500 just for participating. And the top 3 county fairs in those regions, they win a substantially more money. As you mentioned, so first place is $5,000, second place is $3,500, and third place is $1,500, which is a sizable amount of money for a junior fair program.
I mentioned the growth of this contest over the years. How has it gone in the last 3 years since its inception?
It started off very small. In 2021, we piloted the contest in 8 counties in Central and Southeast Ohio, and those 8 counties collected over 21,000 pounds of food donated to 18 local food banks. From there, we grew sizably over just that first year. So we grew to 54 fairs and 170,000 pounds of food. And in 2023, we had 65 competing fairs and donated more than 228,000 pounds of food to local food banks.
That's amazing. Now, this is just one way that Farm Credit Mid-America and Rural First support rural communities in Ohio. What are other ways that you guys have that community outreach?
So community outreach is very important to us. As a lending cooperative owned by our customers, we're committed to strengthening the rural communities where our customers live. So that might be through investments in programs, scholarships, and partnerships that sustain strong, vibrant communities. And like I said, we like to prepare the next generation of ag lenders or ag leaders. So those are through philanthropic capital, through community investment. This year, we've committed over $5 million to local community investment initiatives across our 6-state area. We annually provide more than $260,000 in scholarships to students in Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And when I talk about our donations to youth and our investment in the youth programs, in 2023, we committed over $500,000 just to FFA and 4-H.
It's incredible. Where can someone go to learn more, not just about what you're doing in your local communities, but also about the Fight the Hunger, Stock the Trailer contest? I know you want more and more counties to get involved every single year.
Yes, we want more and more involvement from different counties, and we want the counties that are participating to raise more and more food and get more involvement across their community as well. If anybody has any questions about the contest or they'd like to get their county fair involved, they can call their local retail office. And then, of course, for any information about Farm Credit in general, you can find our website at www.fcma.com.
One of the things that fills up my social media over the summer are kids filling up those trailers with food for local communities, and it is a sight to see and such a great outreach effort done by Farm Credit Mid-America. Rudy Pitzer-Perry, Regional Vice President of Ag Lending with Farm Credit Mid-America. I really appreciate the insights and appreciate all the effort you're doing there in small communities across the Buckeye State.
Thank you. Well, we're really happy to have the opportunity to give back or help initiate a program for the children to be able to give back to.